FBI.
Yo, what the fuck is up, FBI gang? We are back with another sick-ass episode. Today we have Rated R on the podcast. This one's really special to us for a few reasons.
Yeah. So, for starters, you guys, I got a new mic. Shout out Chrissy for the birthday gift. And it's funny because, oh man, when we first started this podcast, Rated R was actually our first ever guest. And let me tell you, I was watching the episode last night just for shits and gigs. It is so cringe to watch, dude.
God. We didn't know what we were doing at all. We were so scared.
Yeah. like, what do you do? How do you start a podcast? So we were like, oh my God, let's look up podcast studios in Denver. So we went to like this random podcast studio and dropped like a couple racks to like rent out this space for the first couple episodes. And then we quickly realized that like, this is not very sustainable for us. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, that you guys should look back at some of our old episodes because the one with Rated R, a little cringe, but
you're gonna get a good laugh out of those early episodes.
Yeah. Like you can just tell that we're so nervous and we're just like, so next question. How do you feel about this? What are you doing during COVID?
Yeah.
Are you more productive or are you less productive? Like, we don't know what we're doing.
We've come a long way. Speak of the devil.
Oh, shit.
Hey, Big Florida's in the house.
You hear me?
Mm-hmm.
What up?
Hey, buddy.
How we doing?
Good. We were just talking about how funny it was that you were our first ever podcast episode.
That was in like 2020, right?
Yeah. So I was just telling, before you hopped on, I was just telling Chrissy how 5 years ago, like when we got you on the podcast, like we've come a long way. And like,
yeah,
it's crazy it's funny how like that first episode we had, we were like so nervous and you can just tell in the episode when you look back, we're both just like, hi, welcome to the podcast. So how's COVID?
That's it. I mean, it's definitely a muscle you work on this thing. I'll tell you for sure.
Yeah. And you were the first artist who believed in us on the podcast. So that means so much to us. That's why we're inviting you back. You're one of the rare artists who gets invited back.
Damn, that's love. That's
This
love.
is like a catch-up sesh, you know, we need to see what you've been up to, especially because, dude, you've had a crazy come up in the last year, literally, like with Dirty South, especially. Mm-hmm. Like, congrats. You're almost at 3 million streams, dude, on Spotify.
Yeah, it was definitely insane, dude. That whole like thing was nuts. Yeah, a lot to catch up on for sure in the last 5 years. But I always knew you guys were gonna do it, you know. You guys are consistent. That's all it takes, you know. You just can't quit. You don't have to. Will Smith said, like, he has this good saying where it's like, we get on the treadmill, I'm gonna die before you get off. You know?
Yeah, literally.
So, you know, I don't know about running on the treadmill too much lately, but he's kind of a good point, you know.
You too, though. Like, I feel like you never gave up because you only unrolled the Florida branding like what, 2 years ago, maybe less.
Yeah. So I'll explain. Like, if you guys want me to just jump into that whole thing, I can. But
yeah, we're really curious.
All right. So about like, I would say 2 years ago, I had hit a point where I was like so hungry, but I didn't know if like what I was doing was like working. Like I felt like I was super consistent, super hungry, like, you know, improving my music and everything, but I wasn't like I feel like I had hit a plateau, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So like I was just really like praying on it, you know, because I talked to God a lot. I was praying on it, you know, like what do I need to do? Like, you know, what should I do? And I had this like cul-de-sac when I lived at my parents' house 2 years ago. I would just like walk around it all day. And I felt like I was like trying to chase this like, you know, this dark kind of like thing that like is common in our scene. Like which is like, there's so much influence, right? Like there's always the skulls and the heart, and we're inspired by so many guys who have these like badass brands, So I feel like I realized that wasn't really me at that point. So I kind of like one day my homeboys came over, and we always just ride the golf cart around. And like, that's what we did since we were kids here in Florida. Like everyone has a golf cart. If you're lucky enough to have one growing up, like I never even had one until my early mid 20s. Anyways, so they would come over, and one day I was like, I'm going to just film us jamming to it on the, to my song on the golf cart. So like through that period of me realizing that I'm not this like kind of like, angry, dark guy, I started making kind of like this, that sound, the Dirty South sound. It was more kind of like club bopping, dirty, like we could rage, but it's still dirty. It's not like super angry, And we just filmed it on the golf cart. I was jamming it, and first video ever on the golf cart got 1.5 million views and like 60 something thousand likes.
All it takes is one.
That's your Dirty South video, right?
Yeah, the Dirty South video. And like, I was just like, it was just like me for the first time not trying. You know what I mean? Like it was me just like filming what I actually do in my daily life, which is like riding the fucking golf cart with my boys.
That's the key.
Yeah. Being yourself.
And, it was just like, smiles and like laughing, and like it wasn't like this like thing that I had thought that I was like chasing for so long with my brand. I was like trying to like be the rated R hard thing, which I do like that shit. Don't get me wrong. I'll throw elbows in the pit like Hayes. I love that shit. Don't get me wrong. But I had realized that like that's not like where my heart's at. So that video was just very lighthearted, and it was happy. It was fun. Like I realized like I think people related to it because it was like something positive, like we're smiling, happy, jamming, and like it also was kind of dirty. So after that, I just had like, dude, I went from, I think I gained like 13K followers from that one reel or something.
Oh my God damn.
That's every artist's dream right there.
Yeah, I gained like 13 or 14K followers from that reel. And like, I had all these random people following me, like dudes that own like boats, like, people who go to like country concerts, like random, like dudes who like own fishing channels,
so
like
Florida people,
just random people who are like DMing me like,
Florida.
Hey, like, I don't know what the hell that was, but that shit's tough. Like they're like, those dudes that like don't use Instagram. They're like, hey man, can I use your song on my video? Like asking me, So I'm
That's
like,
so funny.
I'm like, dude, just use it. It's a sound. You know what I mean? Like, well, dude, I had like these famous like fitness influencers following me. I had like other DJs, like not even my drum, like James Kennedy, like random famous like influencers following me and shit. And I had I'm trying to think who like the craziest person was that followed me.
Other than Shaq.
Yeah, right.
A long time. Me and Shaq been rocking. But no, it basically showed me. It gave me this belief that this new thing, because I always have been told like, oh, you can't make it to the main stage with bass music. Like you're gonna like, oh yeah, but you could play the bass stage, or you could put that on the bass label or something. And like for some reason, like I always like had this vision where I want to go to the main stage. Like I want to bring people in and like flip you into like what I make. You know what I'm saying? If you don't like this shit. And like that song was the first time I had like complete people who have never heard this shit before being like, this is dope. I don't know what the fuck this is, but it's sick. You know what I mean? So ever since then, it was like, okay, I'm gonna basically like stick with this kind of like, sound. And it was kind of like a bit of a rocky transition at first because I had so much of this like other music made at the time. So some stuff came out that was like, like for example, I put a song out with Mistress and Abrasive that was straight rhythm, but like, so it may not have been exactly like the Dirty South shit, but I just like had I caught the rhythm ick for a second, So I was like, I was like, fuck.
The rhythm flew.
Shout out them too, by the way. But
they're sick.
Anyways, not to get sidetracked. At the time of me, putting that record out, I was just a dude called Rated R, right? So I had to make it clear that like where I'm from and who I am is gonna be who I'm gonna start wearing as my brand. And like it really is. Like I grew up, I can tell you stories of my homeboy, Sean, back in the day. We would go fishing and we accidentally hooked into a gator, like a 6-foot gator.
Oh shit.
Oh, hello.
And we pulled him out and we were just holding him, taking pictures. And like we were, lapping hands over, and it basically just wrapped around and latched onto my boy's arm. So my homeboy ripped it off of his arm, and we put him back in. He duct taped his arm when we kept fishing.
Dude, that's the most Florida shit I've ever heard.
I have so
It's
many
Florida,
of those,
man.
I have so many of those stories. Like I may not like sound like like the super like like there's a lot of like guys out here like hey like I've grown up a lot of those guys too. But like I've grown up around it so much, and like I've lived that. We used to go to the bonfire, drink beers. Everyone get their fucking trucks stuck and shit. We would like get busted by the cops partying behind Lowe's and Home Depot and shit. So like it basically is the way I grew up. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. That's so funny.
I realized at the time I was like, oh well, fuck this, dude. I'm gonna just start being who I am, and like. It's not like I was wearing camo overalls every day, but I was like, I could get down with that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's a look.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I basically just fell in love with like, being, who I am. And I had to like, give myself the nickname Big Florida at the time and I love it. It literally, I feel like is the reason why anything even worked, because I feel like if I didn't like really stay true to who I was and didn't show my fans and my people that love me like who I really am, which is that, it wouldn't have translated. Like if I just stayed rated R, like whatever kind of branding I had back then, and didn't really like put effort and show who I am, it wouldn't have like translated the same,
Yeah. And the beauty of that is you now have endless content because it's just another day in your life, like doing Florida shit. And you don't have to like fit into some mold. You don't have to keep up with trends. It's your own wave.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
Have you seen that show on HBO? It's Florida Man.
No, I probably should watch that.
Oh,
It's so I posted on my story a while ago and I got a ton of people like responding to it. But the first episode is about this guy who was a huge Bass Nectar super fan. This was before, obviously, he got canceled, but he didn't have money to go from Florida to Denver to go to like Bass Nectar's big festival out here. This was years ago. And he went to the extreme of like, he was going to eat someone's toes to get paid. Like it was someone's fetish to get their toes cut off, and he was going to eat those person's toes to get like a couple grand. Like it's so crazy. And I'm just like,
that's awesome.
That's some Florida shit right there.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome, dude. Yeah, I'd love to see that happen. I'd be sick.
oh my God.
You gotta watch it.
If you're the one dishing out the toes, you might have some good toes. Who knows? You know what I mean? Like, don't know till you try, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, you gotta watch that show. It's pretty funny. There's some pretty good episodes.
Yeah, I will look into it for sure.
What advice do you have for those artists who are in the position you were before you had that aha moment about the Florida branding? Like, where do they even start to try and find themselves and the story that they're trying to tell?
That's a good question. I think the only advice I could give is to don't be afraid to make change, because I feel like most of them may even know already, but they're just so locked in with something they've like committed to that they are too scared to make that abrupt change, And I'm about to make a massive change that I'm not going to say it on here, but it's like a huge change, not like a genre change or anything. I'm not changing music or anything like that. It's just like an evolution of like what I've built, and it's going to be the final piece. But the thing is, like, I think just don't be afraid to make change. And I think the answer is inside of them. You know what I mean? Because like I said before, there's so much influence in this scene from the most talented, like I can name a million people, you know what I mean? And it happens to be because of that there was a lot of similar things, because we see it, we relate to it. We're artists. We emulate it. We get inspired by it. We produce it. It is a whole shebang. You know what I mean? There's subgenres, main genres, brands that all align. And I truly believe that is because we are so inspired by each other. And I don't think it's a bad thing. It just is what it is. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I think that one thing that I was really happy about is that I didn't want to look like anyone in the scene. Like I didn't want to look like anyone at all. And like I may like have similar sounds that could align with certain people or whatever, which I'm also working on rolling something out that is super different, but not like changing my, genre or anything. But I think it's more just like the only advice I would have for people is like don't be afraid to stand out, number one, and don't be afraid to make change. And that's it's really what I would say if I had to think of two main things.
Yeah.
And really just being authentically yourself. Like I know for us, people love the investigative part. You've never seen like FBI agents at shows where they're like arresting artists, giving out these citations, and like I feel like that's what really like lit the fire under us and like what made us stand out ultimately.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, you guys are like the cool homies in the scene. Like people like want you to like come and like arrest them. Like oh fuck, are they gonna rip me off?
Yeah.
When I'm like cooked, or are they coming for me when I'm like talking to some fan's mom, or like
Yeah.
when am I gonna get smoked? You know what I mean?
It's a marketing opportunity for them.
Yeah, you guys have. I mean, you guys are creating a platform for so many smaller and mid-size and big size. Everybody can benefit from working with y'all because at the end of the day, like I was talking about this the other day, like to name a few EDM train you guys, all time EDM. Like if your stuff is on all y'all's pages, that's a big thing for us because like the scene, like the scene lives through y'all's content. You know what I mean? Like they live through y'all taking videos and like posting the shows. Like it literally quite literally sells tickets. Like people want to go to the shows because that y'all are, putting on and stuff. And if all of y'all like have support us, then that's like, it is really big for us. That's why like whenever I'm rolling out records, I'm like, a lot of my marketing budget, we're always looking into like trying to get on, support those kind of pages, set up our content. Hey, if you'd be interested in supporting us, we'll scratch your back. You know what I mean? That kind of thing.
Yeah. And like for us, ever since the day we started, we've always made an effort to respond to every DM that we get. We reply to all the comments. And I feel like that's what really sets, the brands that do grow quickly from the other brands is like they're reachable, they're relatable, and they allow you to participate in what's going on. Like your brand, the Florida brand, so many people relate to that because they see that in themselves and they are participating just by being around every day and living their life. And like for us, the participatory aspect is we will write you up at a show or like you'll get handcuffed or you can be our agent on the ground. So like brands that allow others to feel like they're part of it and they're contributing in a way, those are the ones that really stick.
Yeah. And I feel like to the rep in my state thing is like, I've wanted to like always wanted to carry like I didn't know how, but I always wanted to carry where I'm from on my back and like inspire that inspiration for like people from here that like they can do it too, and everywhere else, but mainly like because I'm from here, I can relate to people, and like the scene wasn't always huge here. You know what I mean? Like it's come a long way. Don't get me wrong. Like there was like EDC back in the day, but it wasn't nearly as big as it was now back in like 2013, 14.
Especially dubstep.
Yeah, exactly. And like I think that like I always had this vision because you look at like rappers like Gucci, like all these guys, they're always like, East Atlanta zone. They're all their places. And I'm like, where is that in EDM? You know what I mean? Like I relate to that because I grew up like, listening to that Southern trap shit. Like I love my shit is like I go down with like old Gucci, old Waka, Young Scooter,
Chief
like all
Keef,
that
old
hard
Migos
music, and like that was what we would jam to down here. You know what I mean? And like you would always hear them repping where they're from, and their cities would like really ride for them. And I always like, admired that, So and ever since I like took the city, the state on my back and like started pushing it, like so many people, they almost are like defensive of me. Like they'll like go and be like, yo, you repping this way harder than that guy or this guy or something. And I'm like, hold on, dude. Everyone just chill. You know, it's not
Yeah.
common, but it's not
Not
common.
that deep.
No. It's not that common, but they the point of me explaining that is they get passionate. They get behind something and people stand for something and they ride for something, you know?
Yes.
And like it's good because like I mean, and the reason why I'm like happy to rep my state is because it's where I met my fiance, where I fell in love with music, you know, where I was born, like my favorite foods here. Like, how can I not love this place? You know what I mean? So,
What's your favorite food, though?
Oh man, there's so much good food here. We have good pizza here. We have pretty good barbecue here. Not like Texas barbecue, but a little different good barbecue here. There's just so much tourism here too. So you got to meet a lot of different cultures. Like you can, you know, go down to Kissimmee, try any kind of Spanish food you want. My fiance is Dominican. So like I get to try like good Dominican food, good Venezuelan food, like good Puerto Rican food. Like there's so much culture everywhere here, which I absolutely love.
The Cuban food.
Yeah, the Cuban food down south for sure. In Miami, you get more of that in Miami, but yeah, it's definitely a pretty interesting state for sure.
Yeah. And you're in Orlando, right?
Yeah, Orlando.
Just for the record.
Yep.
Are you playing FK this year?
No, so we decided to take a year off because I did the last like 5 years, I think. 4 or 5 years. I've been playing since before 2020. So last
you're an
year
OG.
Oh, dude, Pepe and them have been so good to me. Like to even say that is very, you know, humbling. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I did the last like, you know, 4 or 5 years, and I did main stage last year, which was like really sick slot. Under the like pavilion thing they had. We had like full pyro, all that stuff. It was rammed out at like, I don't know, it was like 4 or 5 o'clock. I don't remember. It was insane. But this year, like we have a really like kind of clear vision of like what we're doing. So I think it was a good year for us to like take a step back and like, you know, grind and really like double down on like where we're trying to go, you know?
Exactly.
So I think it's kind of like those like take 1 step back, go 3 step forward type things, you know?
Yep. You got to do new things. You got to advance the brand.
Yeah. And it's just like, you know, it's just always, we feel really confident in like where we're going and stuff right now. So that's really the reason why. But I'll probably be there. I'm actually going to be in Denver, doing my show on the 30th. And then
Hell yeah, brother!
That's your birthday, right?
Yeah, my birthday's the 31st.
Hey, okay, hell yeah.
So hey, maybe we'll go there and celebrate.
Wait, so
whatever y'all need.
Where are you playing?
At Vinyl.
Oh, fuck yeah!
Coming back. But this is like my first time back to Denver as Big Florida. Like this is I haven't played a Denver show since just like the rated R stuff. Because I played a show, it's been a while. The last time I played in Denver was me and Cello, and I had like I think Dirty South had
that was Chrissy, that was when we aftered at your place, remember?
It was the same day as Little Texas.
Oh yeah,
that was the last time. So like everything I've done since that, I haven't been back yet. So
yeah, Frankie, you came over to mine after that.
Yeah, you were in downtown, Chrissy. Yeah, I remember that.
Okay, yeah, I had to think for a sec.
Yeah,
lots of afters at that place.
It's definitely like I feel like I'm a different like person coming back there, to be honest with you. So I'm excited, and the show was really good last time too, but I really am like, I think like I didn't realize at the time like how serious Denver is like for your career. Like Denver is one of those cities that it can like make or break you. And like if you go and build in Denver and then you can move to like, you know, an Ogden or something like that, and then eventually a Mission Ballroom, like that is like a massive statement to your kind of whole career. And like, I feel like I'm really trying to like build like that, you know, connect with people in Denver because like it's such a like monumental, like, you know, really big part of the scene that like to be loved by them is definitely going to be very rewarding for me. So I'm really excited to come back and give them my all, my absolute best. And I hope that it's everything that they thought it would be, you know?
Yeah, and the whole Denver point that you're making is so true. And it's actually become more prominent over the last few years as like platforms like Laylo are becoming more common, where you'll see artists come to town, and not only will they just have, their vinyl show, but then they'll do a pop-up the day before at Larimer Lounge, and it'll be an RSVP only kind of thing. So then they collect the SMS data, and then you realize, like, coming to Denver, you need to get data of who your true fans are so that you can notify them next time you come and sell it out next time. And then they'll be the same ones to buy merch and support your music and all of that. So we've seen a lot of artists treat these Denver stops very seriously.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that this is kind of like more of like a soft launch of me back into Denver, because I'm doing like a vinyl show. I'm not coming with like a lineup or anything. It's just like coming back, doing a show. But I do, granted everything goes right, have plans to like come back, and like I really do want to like build there. I want to, do a lineup, do the pop-ups, like do the whole thing. I think this is more of a reintroduction into the market,
Yeah.
So it's gonna be really fun.
Hell yeah. Well, we'll help spread the word for you.
I appreciate it.
We'll plan on being there, and don't be surprised if we handcuff you to the decks.
Hey, I'm ready. As long as there's an oxygen tank there. Like,
an oxygen
tank. You need to put that on your rider. You need to get the inhaler oxygen stuff.
I think I really do need it. Because like when I get there, like when I get off the plane sometimes, like I'm like running through the airport and I just like out of breath. I'm like, damn, bro.
It's
like,
real.
It's crazy.
Yeah, stay hydrated.
Yeah, that happened to me when I went to Peru last year, because I thought, oh, I'm going to Cusco. The elevation is a little higher than Denver, but I thought, oh, I live in Mile High City. I'll be fine. No. The minute we landed and the minute we like got off the plane, I had like my carry-on and stuff. Oh man, I was so nauseous. My mom and I were so nauseous. We had to like get tea right away and like cocoa leaves and all of that. It took a while to adjust. So
what is that? Isn't there something you can take there specifically for the altitude?
Yeah, they'll have like cocoa leaves and like tea, and then you have mints as well. They have like some, they're not mints, but they're like cocoa leaves, and they're like something that you can suck on.
Interesting. Yeah, I'll just pop Advil when I get off the plane there. I'm like, all right, it's coming soon.
Brace yourself.
Trying to rip like 2 Advils right now. Yeah.
Well, speaking of the fans, we got a lot of submitted questions for you, dude.
Okay.
So I'm going to dive right in. We got Aiden Hatsu. He's asking, what DAW do you use and how many years have you been producing?
I use FL Studio, and I've been producing for like, I would say like 9 years now, probably.
FL? You mean Florida Studio?
Yeah, Fruity Loops. Yeah, Florida Studio. Yeah.
Big FL guy.
Makes sense.
Yeah, big FL guy. Yeah, I'm like, why'd you switch to Ableton? I'm like, really? Like, really? Why? No, Ableton definitely rips.
On brand.
So I feel like you already answered this question before, but I'm going to ask it anyway because this fan is curious. Dagan Lynch, our friend, shout out to him. He asked, have you wrestled an alligator before?
No, but I've fed a bunch of alligators before. There's a place here called Gatorland. I really want to do a pop-up there someday. But
dude.
I want to like do it in a way that like doesn't like harm the animals, because like I don't want the music to like really stress them out, because first of all, they're not the animal you want to stress out.
Oh God.
Second of all, you don't want to stress any animals out. But I really would love to figure out some like way that's like cool for the animals and like us as well.
Silent disco.
In the parking. Well, maybe I was like, I wonder if they would just like let me do it in the parking lot, and like the fans could like come with me to Gatorland, like, experience it. That way, like it doesn't like affect the animals at all, but it could still be like at the place,
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna try and reach out to them. I've been talking to my team about it.
Word. Daunter is asking about a time where you experienced a failure and how you overcame that. This is a job interview.
I feel like it kind of happens all the time. I feel like it never ends. I feel like you literally always are getting like something that you feel like you're more deserving of, or like you worked hard at, that like you might be feeling like you're getting, not, what you want or what you wished or hoped for. But it kind of is just like, to me, it's just like pouring kerosene on a fire. Like I can't help it. Like I just get like so obsessively competitive, like not with other people, but with myself, where it's just like I've kind of narrowed down like why I do this. It's like 50%, like quite literally 50% of to like prove to my fans and my family and everyone that like you can live life on your own terms and do whatever you want. And like that part of it just drives me so hard that like if there's any kind of failure that happens, it just kind of like sets me off into just like going into, working harder and like, you always got to point fingers at yourself first,
Facts.
Definitely don't beat yourself up. Definitely don't, get down on yourself or think you're not good enough, because that's not true.
Yeah, if you're not failing, then you're not learning, honestly. That's how I see it as. And also, when people ask that question about us, like, when is the time you experience failure? And it's like, I don't count failures, I count lessons. So take that as a learning experience. But
the way I see it is this too. Like there's a lot of overnight success, right? And I think there's people who have been able to sustain overnight success, but there's also people who haven't. And I think that the way I personally see this is like, if you're let's say you're a 10-year long guy, right? And you haven't hit that break yet. Maybe you're not meant to be the size of someone who only got a year's worth of practice. Like maybe you're gonna be that next big person because you needed 10 years. Look at Crank That. Yeah. Like he's undeniable. You can't say anything about him because that dude is like a complete like samurai warrior. Like he's came back from Ra's al Ghul at this point. He's popped off. He's come down. He's come back. He's done everything. He's collabed with all the biggest guys in multiple like years of stuff. And then just the last few years, he became the complete amazing inspiration, who he is. He figured it out. And like that, even his testament, like seeing his success has proved to me that like, you just don't have enough cuts yet,
Yeah. And it's about showing up every single day and not trying to get, 100% better overnight. You get 1% better every day. And it's about small compound effects. It's not about like you said, there is an overnight success for some people, but I went to a conference last week and one of the biggest design firms in the world, they opened their slide by saying, we are a 24-year overnight success.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
There you have it. Yep. So
that's what happens. That's usually the way it happens.
24 years,
like
baby.
25 years, and then boom, God goes, all right, here you go.
I mean, look at Excision. He's probably been in it for 20 years.
Yeah, for sure. Him, there's so many people that have like, how many cuts do you think that guy has?
Oh my, how many times has he been told no by people? Now he's the one laughing.
Always has the last laugh.
Yeah, that's right.
Hell yeah. Good answer. Yeah. Mateo Lifts. What is your favorite pub sub? And can you throw those during your sets like Steve Aoki throws cakes?
Damn, I probably should do that. I've thought about something similar. So I have a big Florida pub sub secret formula. Not gonna lie, but I don't think I'm going to leak the whole thing on here because I've literally sent it to people and like almost NDA'd them. Like you can't even tell nobody about this recipe because it's that good.
Okay. Okay.
But I will tell you some of the key ingredients. Key ingredients is chicken tender sub, obviously, with the Chipotle gourmets. And it's like a spicy Chipotle like mayo they have there. But like not a lot of people they don't know to like put that on the bread first. So put that on the bread first and then definitely get it toasted. That'll be good. But I'm going to just leave it there.
That's all we're going to get right now.
That's all you're going to get right now.
We're going to have to take you to court to hear the rest.
Yeah, I can't.
Exactly.
It's locked up and chained away.
Wait, you don't hear the FBI knocking on your door right now?
I literally took Barely Alive and Marcus, one of our video homeboys.
Oh, we love Marcus.
To get it. And they both were like, dude, this is insane. Like, this is like the best sub I've ever had.
Okay, question though. There's no other meat on it.
There is other meat on it, but
bacon.
I can't reveal what it is. I can't reveal
mac and cheese. And I'm just kidding.
One of the food groups.
Dude, yeah, Publix is just insane, dude.
We need Publix in Colorado, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got Buc-ee's, so that's a start, right?
There you go.
Yeah, Bucky's is really good. I actually went there for my first time recently. I
It's
hadn't been there.
cool.
I don't know why I never stopped there. I
I
just
thought it
like,
was
You,
dumb, but
yeah,
I like it now.
yeah,
yeah,
you should. That's a great place for you to make content,
yeah. It was definitely a shit show though. It was
dude.
insane.
Yeah, it's
It
like,
took me like an hour to get out of the parking lot. And I was like, I ain't gonna lie, it was good, but it ain't that good for an hour in the parking lot. It's
Literally.
crazy. Not that. I'll go to Publix every day, in and out, 2 seconds.
and we
Bang,
You
got
guys
bang.
see?
and we got In and Out here.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh my God.
you have In and Out in Denver now?
We have like 5 in total in Colorado, or maybe 6.
When did that happen?
It's
Three,
been a
4 years
couple.
ago.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Damn, maybe I'll have to hit some In and Out when I come through.
Hell yeah,
Dude,
dude.
let's go.
I feel like it just never hits the same as in California though.
I will say the fries definitely hit better in Cali. And then like the way the bun is toasted in Cali. I'm a
Yeah.
huge In and Out fan, so I notice the little details.
I love In and Out. In and Out's so
That's
good.
funny.
For the price, it's like the best burger you can get. For sure.
Agreed. If you
Yeah.
eat it hot.
Yeah, yeah. If I Uber Eats it one time and it was like the display food that they have there, it's not real.
Hmm.
It came out when I ordered, like, took it out the package from Uber Eats. It was like rock solid. I was like, damn.
Oh
It's all
no.
congealed.
Yeah. I was like, I
Yeah.
didn't order the display food. I thought I got
Yeah.
the food.
Yeah, if I ever get married someday, I'm telling my future husband that we're having an In and Out food truck as catering,
yeah.
okay? No questions asked.
Yeah.
You have no
Okay.
say in this. Like this.
I'll come now.
I'm a witness.
Yeah.
Witness.
Now
Sorry,
we need to do
sorry.
a pop-up at In-N-Out.
Yeah,
Yo.
for sure.
We should talk to the owner of this one down in Lakewood, dude.
Well, it'd be hard to figure out how to like, because the chairs and everything, they don't move. So it's like, it's going to be uncomfortable.
We would have to do it when they're not open because that place is slammed at all hours.
Yeah, I don't even think there's like an amount of money you could offer them that'd be more than just the normal traffic going there.
Literally. But
We can find a Mexican place.
Yeah, we'll do it
Out
at
here
a
too.
Mexican place instead.
It's like me going to Publix. You're gonna be like, yeah, we'll fork over 150 grand for the last hour. Then
Yeah. Like you'd have to do it in the parking lot behind the dumpster.
Like,
sure.
Shaq, please help.
Yeah, Shaq, sponsored by Shaq.
Oh god.
That's funny. Well, we got a couple more questions and then we'll get to the lightning round. So agatialex is asking what your favorite area of Florida is and what is your favorite thing about Florida?
So my favorite area of Florida is actually like where I live right now, which is like a pretty like suburban kind of like area in Orlando. It's like around all the tourist stuff, but not like in the hard to get around area. I actually grew up in a place called Windermere. So it's like, funny story. I grew up like not even 5 minutes away from Shaq's house here. So growing up, like on the lake, we would go on and we could see his big Superman statue. Like me and his kids have had this conversation. Like we all went to like similar schools, like similar YMCAs, and like I was talking to Shakir and Sharif about it, and Miles, and we're always just like reminiscing about like the lake, and like there's an island called Bird Island where like basically everyone pulls up on like this island, this big ass lake, and like parties and shit.
Oh, cool.
And it's just a good area to raise kids, man. I'm very, very fortunate, very lucky to be raised here. Like my parents, were fortunate enough to raise me in a really good area. So I'm super blessed. But I would say Windermere is definitely one of my favorite areas, if not my favorite area. We're grinding really hard to buy a house there because it's not cheap.
Goals.
It's definitely come because I mean, back when my parents moved here, they got a house for like 200 grand. But I mean, a house on the lake over there now is like over 2 million. That's insane.
God damn. All right. So next question from Keeks. Shout out Keeks. Love the homegirl. So she wants to know top 3 cities you've played in, not counting festivals.
So excluding Florida, I will definitely say the top city, hands down, craziest slept on city. They're like one of the base capitals for me is definitely Dallas.
Really?
Like the craziest club show I've ever played was Stereo Live Dallas. Because
Oh wow.
this was like right when Dirty South came out. I got an offer to headline Stereo Live Dallas on 4th of July. It was like a last minute offer. I guess they just like thought
Dude,
they thought
that's
it
a
was
great day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I went there and it was fucking electric. It was like you could drop a pin on stage and they're just like, it was fucking insane. Dude, it was nuts. I was like,
Cool.
I'm gonna I'm gonna start putting y'all on with my mouth.
Mhm.
I was like, they're sleeping on Dallas. Dude,
Good to know.
crazy. Like insane. I have videos of that shit. It was definitely I've been bugging my team. I'm like, dude, you gotta get me back at Stereo Live over there. Shit's nuts. Top 3 though. Second would either be in the US or no?
Doesn't matter.
Montreal would probably be maybe number 2.
Okay. Okay.
Number 3, I would say. That's a hard one. The third one, because they're all pretty good. It depends on where in Denver, because like I've had some times in Denver that's like fucking manic, and then times where I was like, oh man, like I always see this as like the bass capital here. You know what I mean? Maybe it was like, cold or whatever. I don't know what it was, but there's been times in Denver where it's like, holy shit, this is nuts. You know what I mean? But it just depends on who's going out. Maybe their first time out that night. Maybe they're not like. There's times I go to shows and I don't want to fucking jump in the pit every second. You know what I mean? So that's one thing as artists. I think that we tend to like look at physical motion as like if it's good or not. You know. But like they could be really enjoying the show just because they're not running into the fucking pit right away. It doesn't mean they're not liking it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dude, that reminds me, because Chrissy and I just went to Starbase and it was one of the best festivals we've ever been to, like hands down. And the production was amazing. The artists, like everything was incredible. And we were just in the VIP area and that's where we got all of our videos. And like, us older folks, we don't really, dance around too much. And like, it was freezing too. So there were a lot of times where like, I just had my hands in my pocket and I was just grooving, shoulders moving, but not really like headbanging like crazy or anything. So that's how a lot of other people were in our videos. So people were just like shitting on all the crowds and everything. And people were just like, people who didn't even go, they were just like, wow, that looks like the shittiest crowd ever. But we enjoyed it. It was amazing. And it was great to like not deal with a bunch of crazy ass, like
it looked really sick. It looked sick.
Yeah. So like everyone who went that we talked to, they were all saying the same thing, that like it was amazing, but it was just very, very cold at night. So like we were just, standing still, but it was very enjoyable.
Yeah. I really hopefully get an offer to play there someday. It looked really sick by the lake and stuff.
Dude, yeah. Everything about it. And the techno
I didn't
at
hear
night.
one thing about it. I didn't hear one bad thing about it.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is like most of the comments on our videos were negative, but it was clearly people who didn't go. So
yeah, for sure. I mean, so a lot of like the hateful comments I feel like are people who just like don't even go to shows sometimes. I get that vibe.
Yeah. Well, our last question, and this is really funny. Chal122 was asking how your golf swing is. And I think we all know.
Dude, I was ripping at Topgolf the other day. I don't know what happened. Just slipped out of my hand. And you can see my reaction. I was like, oh, man. I was like, dude, it ripped. Thank God I didn't, come up this way. But I'm working on it. Safe to say I'm working on it. Yeah.
Yeah. What are the chances you actually got that on video? Like whoever got that on video needs a raise.
Dude, yeah. I don't know. It definitely wound up being one of those like, moments for sure. Because I'd been kind of sucking the whole time. So just like prepared to just see what I was gonna do this time. Because it was just like the other time I would just like miss the ball completely. Or I would just like drive it right into the grass and just like, nail the club and like hurt my wrists.
Yeah.
So I definitely need to work on my swing for sure.
Hey, not everyone is Tiger Woods.
Yeah, true.
True
that's funny. You should do like a kind of like a meet and greet giveaway, but like Top Golf. Like pick like a couple fans to go with you to Top Golf and just shoot the shit.
Yeah.
That'd be
Yeah.
fun.
They can all watch me suck.
Yeah, right. And then video it and post it.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Funny
That'd be
content.
good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, more Florida content.
There you go.
Big Florida man.
Yeah, brother.
Right. See, what do you guys do? Like a lightning question round or something?
Yeah. So we have 8 questions, and usually we just go quick. You know, it's like whatever comes to mind, just say it, and we'll move on to the next one. So they're meant to be kind of fun.
All right, let's get it.
Yeah. So the first one is, what's on your rider?
Liquid IV, because that really helps me stay hydrated when traveling. Is the plane like super dehydrates you, regardless if you drink.
Oh
or
my
not.
God, yeah.
I drink them all the time here at home. I have for a while I had animal crackers. I don't know why. Black or white or whatever towels they have. Sometimes the ordinated colors. I get pink ones like face towels or whatever.
Yeah.
I'll have let me see what else. Sometimes earplugs.
Mm.
I think that's really it. Not too much stuff.
Word.
No tequila.
Oh, if there's friends, yeah. If there's like friends coming, we'll have it. We'll dabble. You know, there's friends coming.
I dabble in tequila.
Yeah.
You know, you might have your 2 friends here on the podcast join you at your Denver show. So, you know, just in case.
We might have like 10 bottles sometimes on the rider.
Holy
For the
shit.
record, we like Reposado. Just for the record.
Just in case you need to know.
Just in case.
Good to know.
Oh my God.
That's funny.
What is your pre-show routine?
Look myself in the mirror and say, "Don't be a fucking pussy." Go out there. Don't be scared. No.
Aww.
No, I usually don't have too much stage fright because I feel like it's like me going out with like my family. You know, when I see the crowd, it's like, yeah, like we're like together now. You know, it's more excitement. No, show ritual really. I don't think I really have one. I think I just go and more pre-show ritual for me is just mentally getting in the zone like right before I get on stage. I'm like, all right, can't wait to like make that connection with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the first festival you ever attended?
Sunset Music Festival in 2014 or 13.
Damn.
Yeah. Long time ago.
Yeah.
And is this the first year they discontinued it because of Breakaway? Or is it last year?
I think it's the second year. I'm kind of bummed out I never got to play that one. Because
Yeah.
you always want to play the first one you went to, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe they'll come back and give me an offer one day. Who knows?
Or maybe Breakaway. Who knows?
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Craziest place you've ever heard your own track played?
Craziest place I've ever heard my own track played. Like in the scene or like without, like not in the scene.
Doesn't matter.
Like
just
a festival or something.
yeah. Like it could be like you're at a restaurant and you heard your track being played there, or
I mean, I've had people drive past me jamming Dirty South down here.
Wow.
Yeah, I've had people drive by me and just like yell at me on the side of the road and stuff. Like, yo, they're jamming to it. Yeah, really cool.
I do remember, I don't know if it was maybe it was last year when Millennium played your track at EDC main stage.
Yeah, that was nuts.
And Red Rocks too, right?
Red Rocks too, yeah.
Yeah. Then I would say Millennium and Zed's Dead. Zed's Dead really has like helped me a lot with that song. I never got to meet them yet, but they've played that song, I think, more than any headliner has, and it has really helped the record out a lot. Excision also played it when it was an ID at Ultra Main Stage when he did his Ultra Main Stage
That's
thing.
right.
That's massive.
I remember.
Yeah. That was where it kind of was like born. That's when I was like, oh man, maybe I shouldn't scrap that one.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
You thought about scrapping Dirty South?
The first drop was done for the longest time. I just didn't do anything with it.
What the?
That's crazy.
Yeah, I didn't intentionally make it or anything. It was just like I had made it and it was just kind of sitting there. Didn't really have a place or anything. And then I had sent it to him like months in advance, maybe 6 months in advance. and he never played it. So I was like, oh, maybe he didn't like it. And
Mm-hmm.
it's out of nowhere. He only ever played it that one time.
Crazy. And he
That was the
never
only
even
time.
replied or anything.
No. Oh, sometimes he will be like, yo, that was just sick or whatever. But no, just
Hmm.
sent it and wound up not getting in the set. And I was like, oh, maybe he didn't feel it. And then out of nowhere, I just got this video of like crazy ass drone video from Ultra Main Stage and playing it. And that was the only time he ever played it.
You got to
Wow.
keep the faith going, man. Sometimes we just assume things that are detrimental to ourselves, but in the end,
Yeah.
they work out.
Yeah. Another idea I had was just sitting on my computer too from a long time ago. And I sent it to someone who's like really, really killing it right now, like a multi mission ballroom guy. And they were like, oh, yeah, I'm down to work on it. And I was just like, oh, shit, I was going to throw it away. I was like, I'm going
Gosh.
to throw it away. Yeah.
Shoot your shot, folks.
Yeah, for sure. That's one thing I don't really care about doing, but you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Like, and one
Yep.
thing I've noticed too is these bigger headliners, like, I feel like when I get to that phase, even if like they don't reply all the time, like you're definitely still hooking them up because like they can just go back through the messages and like have a catalog of stuff to look through. Like, even
That's
though it looks
true.
like you're like blowing them up, like
Yeah.
like I definitely appreciate because I have it too. And like sometimes I'll get like tons of links, and like I'll go
Mhm.
back and be like, yo, sick, can't wait to like check through these, because it's just like a catalog, it's
Yeah.
like you're just like, hey man, I don't care about a reply, like, here's
Mhm.
some more music, whatever.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Consistency. Again, 1% better every day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
A couple more. We got four more for you. What's the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to you during a set?
Damn. Let me think. Probably tanking on Forbidden Kingdom main stage when I was back to back with Jessica Adafred.
Wait,
Tanking.
what?
Yeah, me and Jessica Adafred went back to back on Forbidden Kingdom main stage in like 2022. It was like an
Mhm.
earlier slot. I think it was like, I don't know, it was maybe like 5 or 6 o'clock or something. And I had like not been using headphones for like the longest time because I just didn't need them. And then I learned why I needed them that set because it was so hot. The CDJs like blacked out. Like they were like
Oh,
I couldn't see.
overheating?
I couldn't even see it. Like it was still playing music, but one of them, the sun was like hitting it, and I just couldn't see like what was on the screen. And I basically just like looked at her and was like, "Yeah, you gonna have to take over a little bit right now," because I was like losing it. I was like having a panic because like at the time I didn't have an agent or anything yet, and like next to me was a lot of big agents because she had like
Ooh.
some pretty big agents. And I was looking over and I was just like, oh shit. Like this
Oh
is
no, I'm
fucking
fucked.
there was like big ass people just like watching us play. And I was just like, oh shit, man. Like,
Oh god.
yeah, I even went to Pepe and I was like, dude, I fucking, it wasn't like a whole set train wreck. It was really just maybe like 5 or 10 minutes, but
Feels like the world in the moment though.
yeah, no, it does for sure. Thank God she was there to hold it down. Shout out Jessica.
We love her.
We love
Yeah, who does?
Jessica. She's the queen.
Who doesn't?
What is your dream back to back?
Dream back to back.
I feel like Radar and Cranked At would slap.
Mhm. Oh
That'd
yeah.
be sick. It's definitely a good option. Dream back to back though, man. Would probably be DJ Snake.
Ooh, I could see it.
Just because I'm like he's like bro's god aura is just fucking insane. He's like I'm definitely like the kid that like saw him and was just like, damn dude, like that dude is fucking raw as hell. You know what I mean? Like
Oh yeah.
he'd come out like I would see him at Vegas, like he just gets on stage and like you're just like, damn, that dude is like means business. You know what I mean? His energy is just so like star power.
Hmm.
But I just love his music. Love his music forever.
Yeah. Good shit. Who are some underrated artists that we should have on our watch list?
I would definitely say Cello, Butler, down from here in Orlando. Let me think.
Gotta look through like the SoundCloud
I
list.
was about to say I'd have to look through the list. I have a
Yeah,
bunch.
that's where you go.
I know, definitely Cello, Butler, Machaki.
Ooh, yeah.
Um, these guys are making really sick. I like Dennett a lot. I think he's starting to pop off now.
He is.
Dennett. I would say. Let's see if I can get one more. I think that's like 4. Who's really fire right now? Honestly, I think just those. Right now, I think that's a good list.
Yeah, it's a solid list.
Machaki, Butler, Dennett, really vibrant stuff. But I think
Love it.
Dennett's like having a pretty sick moment right now. So I'm happy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love Dennett. I've been listening to a lot of his stuff lately.
Yeah, he's really, really doing well.
Cool. Well, we got our final question here.
All right.
This one's going to be a little tough.
Okay.
Fuck, marry, kill.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Barely alive, Amorphic, Shaq.
I'm definitely fucking Shaq because me and Shaq's gonna hold me down. I'm gonna be Shaq's baby mama, you know.
Shaq's your sugar daddy.
Hey, Shaq's gonna hold it down, you know. I'm quitting work. Definitely
Shaq.
fucking Shaq. Oh wait, maybe Mary. Sorry, Mary Shaq.
Oh,
Right?
okay.
Mary, yeah, definitely Mary.
I was gonna say he's gonna break you, dude.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Sorry, that's what I mean. Mary Shaq. I would say
God. He's probably he looks like good husband material. So
I would say I'm definitely marrying Shaq. Probably gonna damn. Let me see. Kill. I'll probably kill damn, bro. I'm really good friends with all these guys.
Aw.
I'll probably
Your besties.
kill Amorphic because I feel like he'd come back from the dead.
He would.
honestly, yeah, he definitely would.
And then I'd fuck Barely Alive because he's a robot. And
Coaster.
maybe one day we'll be fucking robots, you know?
Hey, that's the key to immortality.
Yeah. Like I think it's funny because on tour we were actually talking about like AI fuck robots. Like one day there might be like robots. Like, will that be considered cheating? Like, who knows? Like,
Oh,
if you have like robots, like, I don't know.
that's a good question. Wow, great answer to that one.
That wasn't actually as hard as I thought it would be.
Yeah, you did good on that.
Dude, well, okay, 5 years ago, we recorded a podcast, and now we just wrapped up episode number 2 with you. So
thank you for having me back on. It's always an honor. I appreciate it. And shout out to all the fans sending in the questions. I really appreciate it. So thank you guys very much.
Yeah, we're excited to see you in 2 weeks in Denver.
Oh yeah, I will be there, ready to rock and roll. We're gonna go crazy.
we're ready to party.